Hey there, welcome to the Hot Slice Podcast. This is the podcast by Pizza Today magazine. I am your host, Denise Greer, executive editor here with Pizza Today. And with me is editor-in-chief, Jeremy White. Hello.
Hey, Denise, top of the morning to you. How are you today?
Top of the morning. It's almost afternoon and I'm starving. And I gotta
That's my
tell you,
leprechaun
our
impression.
guest made me hungrier because he was talking about his pizza and
Yep.
I was really hungry. So, all right, but we've got a couple things that we need to talk about before we get to our guest, because we have so much going on right now. There is just a crazy amount of things to do. So first, let's hit on the fact that if you have not taken our all operators survey, it takes you 10 minutes tops.
Get on it.
Get on it, take that survey, because we're going to use that information to help y'all. Like
Yep.
we're asking about menu trends. We're asking about what's hot right now. We're asking about what's happening with your employees. We're asking about, what's happening moving forward with the industry. So we need your insights on that. We can't get that. It comes from you. So make sure you get on those surveys. So that's one thing I needed to talk about. We also have the pie awards, Jeremy. There's some big news coming up with that. We've got a deadline coming up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, the deadline is coming up. The deadline is September 15th. So we're under 10 days now. It's time to get those last minute submissions in. If you've been what we're calling a partial, meaning there are several people out there who have begun the process of entering category XYZ, uploading some of their assets, but just haven't quite finalized their entry. It's time is of the essence now. You're down to the wire. So you're going to want to, again, September 15th is a deadline. You're going to want to get on it and finish that up right away so that you do not miss the deadline.
Absolutely. And we'll put that in the show notes with the survey link. The survey link will be in the show notes too. Something else that we're going to put in the show link or the show notes right now is because next month, so October is National Pizza Month. It's a very important month for us. It actually was started by Pizza Today. So we love it. But we created a toolkit that we update every year that has marketing ideas. It's got lots of marketing assets, whether it's graphics, logos, whatever you need. We've even got a calendar in there. So we can help you like basically celebrate every day of the month in October. So make sure you visit our operator toolkit is what we call it, because we're definitely providing you with a huge amount of marketing resources to go ahead and really celebrate big for National Pizza Month. So
yeah, it's a really great resource. October is a huge month in pizzerias. Regardless, we obviously have Halloween at the very end of the month, and that is without question one of the 5 busiest days of the year for most pizzerias. October is really just in general, though, is a good month for business for pizzerias. And if you do take advantage of these resources in this toolkit, like Denise, like you mentioned, there's something every single day of the month that you can be doing to celebrate National Pizza Month in your pizzeria. Use it to drive business, to entice and excite your customers. It's a really good resource. It's completely free. It's right there on pizzatoday.com. It's easy to access. It's a no-brainer. Definitely check that out. I know that we're a little less than a month away from October 1st coming. And you really want to start planning now and get out in front of this and not be reactive, not on October 5th, start thinking about, oh, what can I do for this month?
Yeah, because one of your biggest resources is getting out to the press, because press loves the media, loves National Pizza Month, because it's something that they can put on their news program. It's something that they can put on their blogs, put on social media. So if you're not reaching out to your media about National Pizza Month, you really should start getting on it. I think I showed a schedule where you can do it, 30 days out, 15 days out, 7 days out, whatever, however you want with what you have going on. So National Pizza Month. All right, gonna have that toolkit in the show notes. So all right, I'm done selling the toolkit. All right, we're done. And it's free, and you don't have to do anything. You just go to the link.
That's right.
Okay, so all right, Jeremy, let's move on to our guest.
All right, hey, our guest today is Drew Butler. He owns and operates Market Pizza by Drew Butler in Culver City, California. So right outside of Los Angeles. As I've learned via some email exchanges with Drew and talking with Drew, like a lot of people in the industry, he was not involved in the pizza industry. He was not a professional pizza maker. He had a love of pizza. He was dabbling in some other things. He actually had a pretzel business, and he just wanted to get into pizza, and he made it happen. So I'm not going to tell his story. I'm going to let him tell his story. But he has just celebrated his 1-year anniversary, and he's doing very well. So well, in fact, that Denise, we recently named him one of the rising stars in the pizza industry.
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely a rising star, and you'll hear through the conversation, he has such a passion for this industry, almost that it was fated for him to be in this industry. So let's jump right into our conversation with Drew.
Performance Food Service is proud to deliver high-quality products, innovative technology, and custom operational solutions to restaurants of all sizes across the country. The flagship division of Performance Food Group, with deep roots in the restaurant industry, Performance Food Service has been the exclusive distributor of the Roma family of brands for more than 65 years. This signature relationship has allowed Performance Food Service to become a leader in the pizza and Italian segment of food service nationwide.
With extraordinary pizza cheese comes extraordinary rewards. Only Baccio Exceptional Italian Pizza Cheese offers the Gold Club Rewards program with monthly cash back on every cheese purchase. Members also receive funds twice a year to use in their exclusive marketing store. It's their way of saying grazie to customers. Schedule a demonstration at bacciocheese.com/hotslice and discover how rewarding Baccio Exceptional Italian Pizza Cheese can be. Pizza's your legacy. Build it with Baccio.
Looking to grow your pizzeria or restaurant? Then you'll want to try the power of a cloud-based POS system. With Hunger Rush, you'll get everything you need. This fully integrated restaurant management system allows you to easily streamline operations, accelerate the delivery process, and grow your business through Hunger Rush 360 marketing. And it's so easy to use. Want AI-powered text ordering? It's built in. Need to track orders? No problem. Schedule a personalized demo at hungerrush.com today.
Right, Drew, you began your pizza career, as far as I understand it, in a market, for lack of a better term, kind of like a farmer's market or a city market. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it's a city market. It's a neighborhood market. It's a house that was built in 1925, and they, I believe, put a butcher shop in it way back when. I saw some footage on the local cable show when they came through. So yeah, it's a really popular high-end neighborhood market. In the back, they've completely built out, the landscaping with ponds and fountains and palm trees.
Wow.
There's a grapevine that grows during this type of year that's literally, producing huge bunches of grapes hanging down from the awning. So yeah, I'm in the back. Next door, they built a pizza oven, I think in 2017, have had a couple different operators. And when I was doing my fundraising in the neighborhood, someone said, I don't know if you know, but Jackson Market has a pizza oven in the back and no one's using it. And my response is always, Jackson Market has a back? Because it's literally something that you go in the front of the market, you get your sandwiches, you get your drinks, unless you happen to go through that back door in the very back, you don't even know this garden oasis is back there. So it's a little bit of a secret garden. It's definitely a secret gem. And I talked to the owner, and about 4 or 5 days later, I started. That was July 7th last year. So just celebrated my 1-year anniversary, and never knew that I would make it that far, because certainly at the 6-month mark, I was like, wow, is this going to continue to happen? I mean, things are going pretty good, but you just never know. So,
why did someone come to you and say, hey, there's a pizza oven in the back? What happened at that point to give you the reputation of a pizza maker?
Yeah, so I was popping up in the neighborhood, kind of honing my craft. I did the whole fundraiser route. So I made pizzas I gave away 100% of the proceeds to my son's high school football team. I set a goal of raising $10,000, and in about 10 weeks, I had raised 2,500. So it was a pretty nice gift to the football program. And, the home pizza game was great. It's something that, I worked on weekly. I used to use Wolfgang Puck's recipe. You throw 6 ingredients in the mixer, and, later that day, you got great pizza. I had previously vended pretzels at the breweries. The pretzel situation was not a very lucrative one, trying to sell a $4 product. So I was committed to making the shift from pretzels to pizza, getting that ticket price up to $14, $15, $16, and also creating a meal for people, because pretzels was a snack. So I would sometimes capture the people at the breweries that wanted to snack, but if people needed a meal, I would lose them. So to be able to work on pizza, I said, okay, I'll get a rock box. I'll go out on the street. I'll give all the pizza away. And the neighborhood loved it. People love the pizza. And, more than one person let me know the Jackson Market had that oven. And it was, talk about the complete best situation falling in my lap. Because I was out looking for pizza places. I was pretty committed to getting into the pizza business as an owner operator. I looked at some places in the valley here. That's, 25 minutes away. That situation didn't work out. I looked at a beautiful space in El Segundo, which is, right by LA airport, and about 15 minutes down the road from me. And when I looked at this space, it was beautiful. There was a brand new pizza oven back there, small space. It was basically, looking in the window, it would have been everything that I would have wanted, until I contacted my real estate agent and found out that the place was about $7 a square foot all in. So that was maybe that was going to be close to, $100,000 to write a check for the $55,000 worth of equipment, first and last month's rent, some security deposits, and all that kind of stuff. So I was prepared to invest that way, but that space was not making me feel good. I went down and took my wife by on a Saturday afternoon, and in a parking lot that holds 150 spaces, there was 2 cars on a Saturday afternoon in that parking lot. It was in an industrial complex down where all the aerospace industries are by the airport. So daytime midweek traffic probably pretty good, although there was also quite a bit of competition there. I think there was 9 other restaurant type of spaces, Starbucks, Subway, etc. But then obviously with COVID, all of those office buildings were closed. Everybody was working remotely. So, the daytime business, I have a feeling, was not very good. And the nighttime business is just, it didn't exist now. Now, as a hopeful person and someone that's building a business, you think, well, maybe I can build that business. Maybe I can find reasons to get people in. Maybe we can, rent, a tent and put it in the parking lot and have music. All of those things are very ambitious and probably extremely expensive to build. So I passed on that, and I drove by just a couple weeks ago, and that space is still sitting there.
Of course.
That oven is still sitting there.
Sure.
And that would have been very stressful. The market, I pay a certain percentage to the market, so I have no overhead. The oven, is there, the mixer is there, the fridges are there. It's a hole in the wall. The space itself is only about 12 by 14, so it's a pretty tight little kitchen. I call it the pizza pit. And I can only get about 3 12-inch pizzas in the oven at a time. But we're cranking them out on Friday and Saturdays, that's for sure.
That's
now,
awesome.
Drew, I was going to ask you, Drew, we actually have a lot of people interested in non-conventional locations where they can do things kind of on their own way, but not have to invest that much. What was, because some of the equipment and things are already in there, what kind of investment did you have to bring in just to get it up and going at the market?
I mean, I almost want to, hide behind my eyes and say zero. Zero.
Wow.
I walked into this place with no money out of my pocket,
That's
no
amazing.
rent, no security deposit. So yes, like I said, this place was a total gift to me. The universe was taking care of me.
Somebody wanted you to be in pizza. That's just the goal of it. So let's
Prayers.
talk about your
Yeah.
pizza style. What kind of pizza are you making? What's your dough like?
Well, I guess we have to call it pizza contemporanea. That was my new word from Expo this year.
Okay.
A lot of people call it, neo-Neapolitan. So
Yeah.
I'm certainly a neo-Neapolitan type of guy. My dough is a blend of 3 different flours. I'm using a high gluten flour. Actually, right now I'm using Tony G's Double O, which I was trying to replace my Caputo with Tony G's Double O, but Tony's flour is a little bit higher protein, so it wasn't quite the substitute I was looking for. So I'd never used Caputo before. They had a couple bags of Caputo down at the shop before I started. So not only did I not pay any money, but they started me off with a half a quart of wood, 2 bags of Caputo flour. So started using Caputo. So now the flour cocktail, as Sparky would say, is Caputo Double O Blue, Tony G's Double O, and Sir Galahad from King Arthur. So kind of a lower protein, kind of an AP, and kind of a higher protein. I do a 19-hour poolish from Tony's book. And I also add some sourdough for character, not as much for leavening because I am using, natural yeast as well. So I got a 67-hour process when you include the 19 hours with Tony's dough, Tony's poolish. So then it goes in the fridge for a day, gets balled, spends one more day in the fridge. So 6 to 7 hours for the dough, and man, I'm really liking it when I have that window. As I've gotten busier, I've had to kind of increase dough production, and so when I first started, I was doing it by backing it out before. So that means I might have some dough that's been around for 4 days, which isn't performing the same as if it's done for 2 days. And now I just recently discovered that if I make dough twice a day for 2 or 3 days in the middle of the week, then everything is working much nicer. So, all this stuff is, learning on the fly, and that's part of the fun of it, I guess, too.
Yeah. I'm curious on those flour blends. What does working with blends really do for your end product? You blending different flours. How has that really enhanced kind of your crumb structure or your end pizza crust?
Well, the honest answer is I don't quite 100% know.
You just know it tastes good.
Except for when you're working with one flour at a time. So obviously for the Neapolitan dough, if you're using straight Caputo, that's going to be such a soft, spongy, less texture type of dough, which I don't think people are as used to or necessarily prefer. So I'm using that higher protein flour to get a little crunch on the outside. And then when you talk about crumb, I think that middle ground flour, the AP flour, which again doesn't have, it's neither hard nor soft. It's kind of in the middle. I'm hoping, and I'm thinking, and I'm telling people that I think that, helps your crumb structure as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Let's talk about capacity a little bit. You had mentioned 3 pizzas in the oven at a time, kind of the max. What kind of volume are you doing on, let's say, a busy day, a Friday or Saturday night? Are you selling 50 pizzas, 5,000 pizzas? What's the capacity?
Yeah, on a good night, we're getting close to about almost 80, 75, 80. Friday and Saturday nights pretty regularly we're, between that 60 and 70 range. And I'm just looking for ways that we can actually increase that production.
Mhm.
Wait times on Friday and Saturday nights can often be 60, 75 minutes. Now, the cool thing about my situation is people are coming back to the garden patio. They're chilling anyway. They're not coming in for a quick meal. They're coming in and spending a couple hours with their friends, having wine, having beer. So it's definitely
Nice.
a chill spot. So I rarely lose people when I tell them the wait times. Now, if you're on your way out to a movie, that's one thing. But yeah, people stick around for the pizza. So it's pretty cool.
That's nice. That's really nice. What the menu, I wanted to talk about that a little bit. How often do you change? Is it hey, Friday night I'm making pizza XYZ, here's 2 choices, here's 3 choices. Is there an actual menu, 12 options? How does that work out?
Yeah. I have 6 regular specialty pizzas. That's a 12-inch pizza. I put away some double doughs, which ends up being about a 14-inch pizza. I call those my XLs. I do those for, they're a little bit more economical. I don't do my specialty pizzas with those. It's usually just a cheese or a pepperoni. I have a marg on the menu. I have a veg on the menu. I have what I call the triple play pepperoni because I use 3 different types of pepperoni. I have a sausage party that, I just started blending my own sausage. I get some, I was using a great sausage from a company here in LA that has a wonderful variety. So each week the sausage would change. I do a fungi bianco, which is a wildly popular pizza. It's got a ricotta base and smoked Gouda and a couple different types of mushrooms. And then
that sounds good.
Trust me, people just go crazy for this pizza. And Jeremy, I'm going to make hay right now and say, I am going to compete next year at Pizza Expo with that pizza.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
We want to see it.
You have a high degree of confidence in it. That's good. That's
if you're going for non-traditional, get in that category early because it fills up fast.
Okay. Thanks for the advice.
Point. Once you see a post that that registration is now available for the competition, I'm talking they're gone. The spots are limited and they go very, very fast. So you're going to want to get on that quickly.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, anyway, my commitment is to compete next year, to see where I stand in the world. Right.
Yeah.
And then the last part about the menu, I have one special or one chef special each week. I was trying to do that once a week, but it just got to be too much. And so now, in fact, again, this is something that I learned at Pizza Expo. And that is put the special on Greenwood, the gentleman from Greenwood.
Sam Mandel.
Yes, thank you. So that, he was doing his specials for about a month. So now that's kind of what I'm doing. Yeah. And so this month's special is the Aloha Spirit. It's nice pepperoni pizza with pineapple, onions, and Spam.
Spam, that's hilarious.
And 100% of those proceeds are going to Scott's Slice Out Hunger Relief.
Excellent.
So yeah, have fun with the specials. But they take a little bit of work, both mentally and ingredients wise. My prep table is a 24-inch prep table.
Oh, wow.
I can barely get ingredients for 6 pizzas in the top. In fact, I can't get 6 ingredients for the pizza in the top. The fungi bianco stuff is down in the fridge, and usually the special stuff, either it's all down there or half of it's down there. So I'd love to be more ambitious with some stuff, but one of the biggest things I'm learning about the market is do what you can do here and don't try to do more than you can do here. So I can't have 12 different pizzas. I messed around with some wings in the wood-fired oven one day. I ended up sous videing the wings to make sure they were cooked properly, because obviously at 900 degrees you don't have much time to get them up to 10.
Right.
So I crisped them off in the oven, and then I realized, okay, you spent 2 hours in the sous vide. You spent 15 washing the pan that you put the sticky chicken wings in, and you're trying to sell this for $16. Why don't you just sell another margarita pizza for $16?
Right.
I did just put some caprese on the menu. String up some mozzarella balls and some tomatoes on a skewer. It doesn't involve the oven. I can do that. I can prep that. So I'd love to be flying, but I just have to be patient enough to run in this space and know that there's going to be times in the future that I can put more things on the menu, like wings or meatballs. I wanted to do a gigantic meatball for one of the influencers down here, and I played around with it, and then I just realized it just wasn't cooking properly in the oven. So
and you only have so much space.
That's just it. There's only so much space. So
yeah, that's what I was going to say. With the space constraints you're working with as well, are you a one-man wrecking crew? Do you have any help? Is there any staff? Are you doing it all by yourself? How is that working out for you?
Yeah, so certainly for the first 3 months, it was all me. 4 days a week, Thursday through Sunday. As things did pick up, my son, who was a senior in high school at the time, came down, and he was learning the business and really picked it up quick. It wasn't more than a week or two, and he was actually on the oven. We like to call it burning pizzas in that oven.
Sure.
But so he did a great job, and definitely needed the help. Occasionally I'd ask my wife down to say, hey, can you shred some cheese for me and take some orders, because we are swamped. And definitely as things got busy in that first part where it's just go it was tough to manage. Fast forward to probably 3 months ago. No, Anita's been with me almost 6 months now. So I got my first hire. She's absolutely fantastic. She was a girl that had some kitchen experience, and she took a pizza class in New York. So she had a little bit of experience, which was great. I tend to like people with a little experience so that I can help train and coach and mold. And she has just really taken off. She's now the lead baker. My son is no longer with us. We did have another couple of high school kids this summer. So in the end, I've had about 4 people working in the kitchen, not including my wife. And I'm picking up another kid for Sundays who is a little bit on the spectrum, as they like to call that. So I'd been thinking about and wondering whether he could work out in the kitchen, because he's a great customer. His family is great. We've known him forever, soccer friends, etc. He actually had a pizza named after him, called the Pepperoni Maximus, because he likes to have about 4 times as much pepperoni as needs to be on pizza.
I like it.
Carnivore.
Same.
Yeah. Yes. So I'm excited. He'll probably come down Sunday, and we'll see how long of a shift he can manage. But to be able to work with him, to give him some business skills, that's all very fulfilling.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I know we obviously have seen the talent that you bring to the table, and we've named you a rising star in the industry in July. And maybe you're going to compete in March. How do you really want to develop in the industry as you move forward?
It's a great question. And first off, thank you so much for your recognition. It was a wonderful surprise and a beautiful honor. There was definitely parts of me that were kind of, really high in the momentum phase, and really high aspirations and really high energy, and then you hit some roadblocks, and a couple of things don't happen as quickly as you want, and things like that. And really where I want to go with this business is I want to turn into a business owner instead of a pizza maker. So Jeremy, you asked about me doing it by myself. Well, yeah, I was doing it by myself, and now I have some help, and half the time I'm in the kitchen and half the time I'm not. I have had a couple opportunities to step away from the business for a night or two or a weekend. in July, I stepped away for a whole weekend, and Anita ran the shop with everybody. And as I'm doing my activities away from the shop, I'm like, oh, should I call the shop and check in to see how everybody's doing? And I'm like, no, you need to trust that everything's fine. And you need to enjoy yourself here, because that's the whole point. So again, to reiterate, really where I want to go in pizza is I want to be an operator. I want to be a manager. I want to be a coach. I want this little pizza place in the back of the market to sustain itself, so I can start looking for the second location. I'm talking to people about locations. And that's, eventually I'd like to have a few spots. I'd like to scale things so that, that a smaller piece of the pie, because you're sharing it with your employees, if you multiply how many pies, then eventually, hopefully this can be, something that provides a significant income. Right now I'm, probably working for minimum wage. I'm, as our schedule has shifted down at the shop, I've found myself working Saturday nights by myself and Sundays by myself, even now. And then I look at the clock and I go, okay, yeah, no, you're putting in like 12 and 14-hour days. And obviously I wouldn't trade it for the world. I don't think many of us would. To spend 12 hours doing something that I love to do, interacting with people, which I usually mostly enjoy. I've done other things, and I wouldn't go back to doing those other things, because I don't know, maybe again, this is where I was supposed to be a long time ago, and I finally figured it out. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
amazing.
Yeah, Denise, I feel like we're just really honestly touching the tip of the iceberg here with Drew. I feel like we could talk for about 4 hours. Like,
we definitely could.
A full-on podcast workshop. We may have to get Drew back on for a round 2 sometime in the future, because I really do feel like we have a lot more in the tank to talk about here.
I do too. But we thank you so much for popping onto the podcast and sharing your knowledge. As somebody newer in the industry, you're bringing a lot to the table right up front. So we're excited to see where you go with this, and always keep us posted.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on. It's an honor to be in the crowd of rising stars this year. I reached out to all the guys and gals and started a little group chat so we could kind of follow our progress. And I look forward to listening to all of their episodes on this show, and also hopefully visiting them at their shops, and having that be a part of my tight-knit community here.
That's awesome. We will see all of you hopefully at Pizza Expo in Las Vegas.
Yes.
Right. Thanks a lot, Drew. Have a good day.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
All right, thanks. Bye-bye.